Welcome to our countdown of the top 10 richest persons in the world in 2025, a testament to vision, innovation, and relentless determination. These extraordinary individuals didn't just amass wealth. They transformed industries, pioneered groundbreaking technologies, and inspired millions to dream bigger. From tech titans to investment legends, their journeys remind us that, with bold ideas, tireless work, and unshakable belief, the impossible becomes possible. So let us dive in and discover the minds shaping our world and fueling the ambition in all of us to reach for greatness. Top number 10, Jensen Huang. The mind-blowing story of the 10th richest man in the world. He was born poor and didn't have enough money to buy food. His family had very humble beginnings. And in fact, they were so poor that they couldn't afford food for their children. After completing his education, Jensen worked for a few years as an engineer before co-founding his own graphics processing company called LSI Logic in 1990. He is married to Lori Lowe, and together they have 2 children. Jensen is also a passionate philanthropist and is involved in several charitable organizations. Graphics cards are complex pieces of hardware that consist of multiple components, including a processor, memory, and a cooling system. His net worth is currently estimated to be around $30.3 billion, making him one of the richest people in the world. He is often seen wearing a distinctive black turtleneck sweater, which has become somewhat of a trademark look for him. Jensen's fashion sense has caught the attention of many and has even been featured in various media outlets. He is an avid gamer himself and has a particular fondness for classic arcade games. He is a graduate of Stanford University, where he earned both his Master's and doctoral degrees in electrical engineering before founding NVIDIA. Jensen worked at several other tech companies, including LSI Logic and AMD. He has also served on the board of directors of several public companies. In addition to his professional accomplishments, Jensen is also a respected speaker and thought leader on issues related to artificial intelligence, data science, and the future of computing. He has given keynote speeches at numerous conferences and events, and his insights have been sought after by policymakers and industry leaders alike. His collection is said to include several rare and valuable machines that he keeps in his personal game room. Also, check out these videos that we think you might like. This quirky hobby is a testament to Jensen's passion for gaming and his love of technology. It also provides a fun and relaxing way for him to unwind and let loose after a busy day of running. A multi-billion-dollar corporation. Some have praised his unique style, while others have questioned his seemingly unchanging wardrobe. However, Jensen's choice of attire has become an iconic symbol of his personal brand and has contributed to his larger-than-life public persona. One has earned this impressive fortune primarily through his role as the founder. He is known for being friendly and accessible to fans and colleagues alike, and is often seen attending industry events and meetups. Jensen's humility and down-to-earth nature have made him a favorite among tech enthusiasts and have contributed to his positive public image. And CEO of NVIDIA Corporation, it's a multinational technology company that specializes in designing graphics processing units, GPUs, and other visual computing products. Under his leadership, NVIDIA has become one of the most valuable technology companies in the world, with a market capitalization of over $1 trillion. In recognition of his outstanding contributions to the tech industry, Jensen was awarded the prestigious Padma Bhushan, the 3rd highest civilian award in India in 2022. This honor reflects Jensen's significant impact on the field of technology and his commitment to innovation and excellence. As a result, they can be expensive to produce, which impacts the cost of the final product. Despite this, NVIDIA has been able to maintain a relatively affordable product line that is accessible to a wide range of customers. Additionally, the company has implemented a tiered pricing structure that allows customers to choose a graphics card that meets their specific needs and budget. For example, NVIDIA's Gorse series of graphics cards are designed for gamers and enthusiasts, while its Quadro and Workstation series are aimed at professionals who require higher levels of performance for tasks such as 3D modeling and data analysis. By offering a range of products at different price points, NVIDIA has been able to cater to the needs of a broad customer base and drive sales volume, which contributes to the company's profitability. Furthermore, NVIDIA has invested heavily in research and development to develop cutting-edge graphics card technology. The company's engineers work tirelessly to improve the performance, efficiency, and reliability of their products, which helps to differentiate them from competitors and create a loyal customer base. For example, NVIDIA's recent advancements in ray tracing, a technique for creating realistic lighting and shadows in video games, have been widely praised by gamers and industry professionals alike. Overall, NVIDIA's focus on affordability, accessibility, and innovation has been key to the company's success in the graphics card market. By providing customers with high-quality products that meet their specific needs and budget, NVIDIA has been able to drive sales volume and establish a strong brand in the highly competitive tech industry. He is particularly committed to improving education and healthcare in underserved communities. Overall, Jensen is a remarkable individual who has achieved great success in both his personal and professional life. His dedication to innovation, his commitment to philanthropy, and his humble and approachable nature make him an inspiration to many. Although the company was successful, it was primarily focused on developing chips for other companies. But Jensen's journey to success was not an easy one. In fact, he faced numerous obstacles and setbacks along the way. Despite these challenges, he never gave up on his dream of creating innovative and user-friendly computer chips. Instead, he persevered and worked tirelessly to make his vision a reality. One of the key factors behind Jensen's success is his ability to anticipate market trends and invest in emerging technologies. For example, he recognized the potential of artificial intelligence, or AI, early on and made significant investments in AI research and development. This has paid off in a big way, as AI has become one of the hottest trends in the tech industry in recent years. Another important factor in Jensen's success is his focus on sustainability. He understands that the tech industry has a significant environmental impact and has made it a priority to reduce NVIDIA's carbon footprint.
Yes.
This has not only helped the environment, but has also boosted NVIDIA's brand image and appeal to investors. Despite his incredible success, Jensen remains grounded and focused on giving back. He is a major supporter of various charitable organizations and is committed to using his wealth to make a positive impact on the world. Overall, Jensen's story is an inspiring example of how perseverance, innovation, and a commitment to making a difference can lead to extraordinary success. This meant that LSI Logic wasn't generating much profit from its own products and services. However, Jensen was determined to create a company that would be known for its own brand name rather than being a behind-the-scenes chip developer. So in 1999, he founded a new company called NVIDIA with his friend Curtis Prime. Initially, NVIDIA was not very successful and almost went bankrupt within a year of its launch. But Jensen's persistence paid off, and the company eventually began to turn a profit. One of the key reasons for NVIDIA's success was the introduction of the GeForce 256 in 1999, which is widely regarded as the first GPU, or graphics processing unit. GPUs are specialized electronic circuits designed to rapidly manipulate and alter images in real time, making them essential components of modern computers and video games. Since then, NVIDIA has grown to become one of the most successful technology companies in the world, and Jensen's hard work and dedication have paid off in a big way. In addition to his professional accomplishments, Jensen is also known for his unique style and appearance. He is often seen wearing a black turtleneck sweater, which has become a sort of trademark look for him. Despite his success, Jensen remains humble and grounded and is known for being approachable and friendly. He is a regular attendee of industry events and is always happy to chat with fans and enthusiasts. So when Jensen was just 4 years old, his father made the difficult decision to immigrate to Kentucky, USA, in search of better opportunities. Sadly, they left little Jensen and his mother behind in Taiwan, and he wouldn't see his father again until he turned 12 years old. Thankfully, his mother remarried a successful businessman who adopted Jensen and gave him a new life. But despite this fortunate turn of events, Jensen still struggled throughout his childhood and often felt like an outsider due to his Chinese background. To make matters worse, his adoptive father passed away when he was only 17 years old. And once again, Jensen had to endure another difficult period in his life. Despite all these hardships, Jensen never lost sight of his goals. He graduated from college in 1984 with a degree in electrical engineering and went on to earn a master's degree in the same field from Stanford University. It was during his time at Stanford that he met some influential people who would later help him launch his successful company. But somehow he managed to become one of the richest men in the world with an insane net worth of over $30 billion. The question is, who is this mysterious billionaire? And how did he manage to achieve such extraordinary wealth? Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out in today's video. So make sure to stay tuned. Number 10. Jeff was born on February 17, 1963, in Tainan City, Taiwan. No, 9. Number 8. While Jensen's personal life remains largely private, he is known to be a dedicated family man. Number 7. Fast forward to today, and Jensen Huang is now one of the richest people in the world with an astonishing net worth of over $30 billion. Number 6. NVIDIA is one of the leading manufacturers of graphics cards, which are essential components of computers used for gaming, animation, machine learning, and other applications requiring high-performance computing. Number 5. Jensen Huang has achieved extraordinary success in his career as a businessman and entrepreneur. For in addition to his professional achievements, Jensen is also known for his unique personal style. 3. Despite his extraordinary wealth and success, Jensen remains remarkably down-to-earth and approachable. Number 2. One of the most fascinating aspects of Jensen's personality is his unusual hobby of collecting vintage arcade game machines. Jensen Huang is a highly respected leader in the tech industry known for his visionary thinking and his ability to inspire others. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Top number 9, Sergey Brin. This man is worth over $40 billion, yet he sleeps in a $300 apartment. If you're thinking who that could possibly be, then let me tell you this. If you are ready to start your journey to become financially free, then make sure to subscribe for more updates. He drives an old car, wears simple clothes, and eats fast food. But thankfully, he had a friend in Mike Moritz, his stepfather, who happened to be a partner at a venture capital firm called Sequoia Capital. So instead of finishing the research paper, they decided to drop out of Stanford and build a company around their idea. But they needed money in order to start their company. So they started asking every friend and family member they knew if they could lend them some money. But no one believed in their idea, so no one gave them any money. When Sergey was 16, he suffered from a serious health condition that nearly killed him. He started to see life in a whole new way. He does this to remind himself of the struggles he faced in the past and to stay grounded. He doesn't want to forget where he started from and the hard work he put in to get to where he is today. This shows that Sergey is a visionary and was able to see the potential of the internet. He invested his money into a risky venture, but it paid off big time. He's not afraid to take risks and invest his money into new ventures. This is evident from his early investment in Google, which turned out to be a huge success. He's a self-made billionaire who started from nothing and built a fortune for himself. He's also a great leader and a risk-taker, which has allowed him to achieve extraordinary success. Sergey proves that anything is possible if you're willing to work hard and take risks. He's a true example of how one can achieve greatness through sheer determination and hard work. He's also invested in other startups, and some of them have gone on to become billion-dollar companies. This shows that Sergey is not afraid to take risks and invest his money into new opportunities. He's always looking for ways to grow his wealth, and he's willing to take risks in order to do so. He didn't just make a fortune for himself, but also for his investors. You need to be a visionary, a great leader, and a risk-taker. If you can do that, then you'll be on your way to becoming rich. And don't forget to subscribe for more updates. Thanks for watching. He drives an old car because he doesn't need a fancy car to get around. He's able to inspire and motivate his team to achieve great things. This is evident from the success of Google, which is a testament to Sergey's leadership skills. He's been able to build a strong team of talented individuals who share his vision and work hard to achieve common goals. This has resulted in Google becoming the most dominant player in the tech industry. He doesn't need to impress anyone with his wealth. He's happy with what he has and doesn't feel the need to show off. He realized that he didn't care about money or status. All he cared about was living life to the fullest and doing something meaningful. That's why even today, he works tirelessly to make Google the best it can be. He doesn't need money, so he doesn't take a salary. Instead, he focuses on making Google profitable, so that he can reinvest the money back into the company and continue improving it. He believes that this is his purpose in life, and that's why he works so hard. He was diagnosed with a rare blood disease called acute lymphocytic leukemia. He was given only a 6 survival rate. Sergey was devastated. Couldn't believe that he was going to die so young. Look at Sergey Brin, who is worth over $40 billion, yet he doesn't need a mansion or a luxury car. All he needs is a simple life that allows him to do what he loves. If that's what happiness means to him, then who are we to judge him? We should all strive to live a life that brings us happiness, not one that's filled with material possessions. He thought about all the things he wanted to do in life and realized that he didn't have enough time. That's when he started to reevaluate his priorities. He realized that he didn't want to spend his remaining days in a hospital bed. Instead, he wanted to spend them doing something meaningful. That's when he decided to drop out of university and pursue his dream of starting a company. Even though he didn't know if he was going to survive, he knew that he didn't want to waste his time doing something he didn't enjoy. However, Sergey's stepfather, Mike Moritz, would become a famous venture capitalist by this time, invested $100,000 into the company. With this investment, they were able to rent an office space and hire a few employees. Through his stepfather, Sergey got in touch with a professor at Stanford University, who allowed him to enroll in his computer science class. Craig had worked at Amazon previously and knew how important reviews were for a product. So he suggested that they should allow users to rate different websites. This would give users more control over search results and help them find more relevant information. And since no one else was offering this feature back then, it quickly helped them gain popularity. Back then, Yahoo was the biggest search engine and had over 70 million users. But after Google launched, it quickly became the go-to search engine for everyone. And in 1998, Google officially became profitable. There he met another student named Larry Page, who was taking the same class. Today, Google has over 130,000 employees and has offices all around the world. Google makes over $200 billion every year from advertising alone. And since the 3 founders own over 50% of the company, it makes them multi-billionaires. But Sergey doesn't take a salary from Google, and instead gets a yearly bonus based on Google-less performance. Net worth has grown so much because he keeps reinvesting his money back into the company. The two quickly became friends and started hanging out together. While attending Stanford, Sergey used to work as a janitor in order to pay for his education. Once Larry and Sergey became friends, they also started working on a research paper about creating backlinks between web pages. Their goal was to come up with a better way to search the internet. They thought that if they managed to do that, then they could solve one of the biggest problems of the internet, which was that there was too much information available, and it was becoming difficult to find relevant information on the internet. They spent all their time in the Stanford library doing research for their paper. But little did they know that they were about to change the world forever. After the divorce, his mother took Sergey and his brother to live with her in Miami. But it didn't last long because she soon married a computer engineer named Mike Moritz. This made Sergey closer to his stepfather. In fact, Sergey's stepfather bought him his first computer when he was just 9 years old. Sergey learned how to code right away and created his own program which could predict tides, and he distributed the program to local surfers. At the age of 12, he already knew how to hack into a phone system. And when he was 16, he created a screensaver for Microsoft and earned his first $1,000 from it. Because of his interest in computers, he became friends with a boy named Larry Page, who would later become his business partner. In fact, when he was at MIT, he slept in his office to save money. This is not some kind of joke or prank. It's a real-life story of the 9th richest person in the world. You must be wondering, how can someone who is so rich live like this? Well, this is what Sergey Brin's story will reveal. Welcome to our channel, where we share with you the most successful people in the world and how they became so rich. When Sergey Brin was just 6 years old, his parents got divorced. After graduating high school, Sergey applied to several universities but didn't receive any acceptance letters. While researching, they realized that they could actually build a product out of their idea. But everything changed when one of Sergey's childhood friends, Craig Silverstein, joined the company. From there, Google went on to acquire many popular companies such as YouTube, Android, DoubleTree, and many others. But there's a big secret behind why Sergey became so successful. Sergey's mindset completely changed after he battled cancer. Even though Sergey is worth over $40 billion, he still lives in a $300 apartment. So if you're someone who thinks that money is everything in life, then think again. When Sergey was 25 years old, he founded the company with just $100,000. Now the company is worth over $1.5 trillion. Another reason why Sergey is so rich is because he's a great leader. Lastly, Sergey is a risk taker. If you want to become rich like Sergey, then you need to follow his lead. Sergey Brin is truly an inspiration to all of us. What are your thoughts on Sergey's story? Let us know in the comments below. Top number 8, Steve Ballmer. This man is not a genius. He's not highly educated. In fact, he dropped out of school in the 6th grade. But today, he is the 8th richest person in the world with a net worth of over $200 billion. And his story will inspire you to take action. Steve was always an energetic child who loved to talk. Back then, Bill Gates and Paul Allen were just trying to get a slice of the lucrative enterprise software market. But everyone told them it could not be done because IBM was the dominant player with a 70% market share. But young Steve saw an opportunity. Well, the answer might surprise you because it has nothing to do with being a genius or coming from a wealthy family. Instead, Steve credits his success to 3 simple habits that anyone can adopt. He watched as IBM tried to enter the personal computer market and quickly realized that the industry would be dominated by companies that could produce and distribute computers at a low cost. That's why he actively sought out smart people and created strong relationships with them. He may not have been the smartest or the most educated, but he was definitely one of the most successful people of his time. By following his 3 simple habits, you can be on your way to achieving your own success. But remember, success isn't just about money or fame. It's about making a difference in the world and leaving a positive impact on those around you. Steve's story is a testament to that. So if you want to be successful like Steve, you need to find your passion and pursue it with all your heart. You need to be willing to take risks and step outside of your comfort zone, and you need to never, ever give up. When he joined Microsoft, he formed a close relationship with Bill Gates, even though he was technically his boss. They spent countless hours together working on the company's early products and shared a deep understanding of each other's strengths and weaknesses. This allowed them to work seamlessly together and accomplish amazing things. Steve also surrounded himself with smart people at work. He hired talented individuals and gave them autonomy to do their jobs. He knew that by hiring smart people and giving them freedom, he would get better results than if he tried to micromanage everything himself. Moreover, Steve was smart enough to know that he couldn't be in every meeting or make every decision. So he delegated responsibility to others and trusted them to make the right decisions. This allowed him to focus on the big picture while knowing that his team was taking care of the details. And it turned out to be a great strategy. Microsoft flourished under Steve's leadership and became one of the most successful companies in the world. And it's no wonder why. After all, Steve surrounded himself with smart people who knew how to get the job done. Surrounding yourself with smart people can have a profound impact on your success. When you're constantly learning from those around you, you'll be able to achieve more than you ever thought possible. So if you want to be successful like Steve, you need to find smart people to surround yourself with. Look for people who are talented and accomplished, but also those who are eager to learn and grow. And most importantly, be willing to learn from them. Don't be afraid to ask questions and seek their advice. By surrounding yourself with smart people and being willing to learn from them, you'll be well on your way to success. That's why he encouraged Bill Gates to focus on making Windows as user-friendly as possible. If they could create an operating system that was easy for even a grandma to use, then they would capture the mass market, and that proved to be a winning strategy. As Windows became more popular, so did the applications and hardware designed for the platform. This created a virtuous cycle that allowed Microsoft to continue growing and innovating. Steve was also constantly thinking about how to scale the company's operations. He implemented process improvements and automated tasks to free up employees to focus on higher-value work. And he made sure that the company had the right talent in place to support its growth. Under Steve's leadership, Microsoft went from a small startup to a multi-billion-dollar behemoth. And he never lost sight of the importance of scale. In fact, when he became CEO of Microsoft in 2000, one of his first moves was to launch a new initiative called the Trustworthy Computing Initiative, which focused on making Windows more stable and secure. This initiative involved thousands of engineers and scientists across the globe and was one of the largest engineering projects in the history of software. But Steve was undeterred. He knew that in order for Microsoft to continue growing, it needed to solve this problem at massive scale. And in the end, the Trustworthy Computing Initiative was a huge success. Windows became more stable and secure, and customers flocked to by the new Windows XP operating system. So if you want to be successful like Steve, you need to think about scale from day one. No matter how small your business is, you need to be thinking about how you can grow and scale your operations. And you need to be willing to invest in the people and processes necessary to support that growth. Don't be afraid to think big and to set ambitious goals. Always be looking for ways to improve and innovate. While other companies were charging hundreds of thousands of dollars for enterprise software, he convinced Bill Gates to lower the prices to make their products more accessible to small businesses. From the time Steve was a kid, he knew how to connect with people through humor and stories. And he carried that skill with him throughout his career. One of Steve's first big breaks came when he gave a presentation to a group of potential investors. Most people would have stood up on stage and rattled off a bunch of technical specs and features, but Steve knew that wouldn't resonate with his audience. So instead, he told them a story about how he and Bill Gates met and how they started Microsoft. He talked about the challenges they faced and the successes they achieved. And by the end of the presentation, the investors were on board. Steve understood that people buy stories, not products. And that's why he was so successful at connecting with customers, employees, and investors alike. He knew how to tell a good story that made people feel something. Whether he was talking about the importance of customer service or the need to innovate, he always wove in a personal anecdote or a funny quip to make his point more memorable. Even in the boardroom, Steve wasn't afraid to use stories to make his case. He once recalled a time when he and Bill Gates were pitching a new product to a group of executives at Compaq. The executives were unimpressed until Steve told them a story about a customer who had been using their product and how it had saved them time and money. The executives loved it and ultimately agreed to invest. It just goes to show that storytelling isn't just a nice-to-have skill. It's a powerful tool that can make all the difference in business. So if you want to be successful like Steve, you need to learn how to tell a good story. It doesn't matter if you're repitching an idea to your boss or giving a presentation to clients. People are more likely to buy into your vision if you can tell a compelling story. You don't have to be a natural-born storyteller either. You can learn the skills of storytelling through practice and by studying the masters. So go out there and start telling your story. The world is listening. This bold move helped Microsoft gain a foothold in the market and earn its first $1 million in revenue. At age 10, he attended a summer camp where he was the only Jewish kid. There were countless sleepless nights and setbacks along the way. So Steve would often drive home from work, look up at the moon and say, "You have no idea how hard we're working." But as the company grew, so did Steve's responsibilities. He became chief operating officer and oversaw the launch of Windows 95, which sold a record-breaking 7 million copies in the first few weeks. By the time the internet bubble burst, Microsoft's stock had increased by almost 2,000 since its IPO, and Steve became one of the wealthiest people in the world. And when it was time for the talent show, little Stevie got up on stage and said, "Hello, my name is Steve Ballmer. There are no Jews in this camp, so I'll represent all of you." The whole audience burst into laughter and applause. And that's when Steve realized the power of connecting with people through humor. He grew up in Detroit, Michigan. His dad worked at Ford Motors for over 40 years, and his mom was a preschool teacher. But after graduating high school, he enrolled at the University of Michigan. But after 2 years, he dropped out to join Microsoft as employee No. 30. But success didn't come easy. So what makes Steve different from all the other tech billionaires? What is his secret to success? No. 1. Never underestimate the power of storytelling. Number 2. Always be thinking about scale. From the time Steve joined Microsoft, he knew that the company's success depended on its ability to scale. Number 3. Surround yourself with smart people. From the moment he entered the workforce, Steve recognized that he didn't know everything and that he needed help to succeed. As you can see, Steve is a true inspiration. Top number 7, Warren Buffett. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's quote is from one of the top number 7 richest person in the world, Mr. Warren Buffett. He said, "The chains of habit are too tight to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken." Well, What does this quote mean? Have you ever tried to break a bad habit? His father, Howard Buffett, was a stockbroker and his mother, Layla Stahl, was a housewife. Graham taught Warren that the best way to invest is to buy stocks that are trading below their intrinsic value, which is the true worth of the company. Warren took this advice to heart, and over the years, he has built a reputation as one of the world's greatest investors. In fact, Warren Buffett's net worth today is roughly $100 billion, making him the sixth richest person in the world. Over the years, Warren has donated billions of dollars to various charities, and he is one of the largest living donors in the world. One of Warren Buffett's most famous investments is Apple. Some people believe that Warren's investment strategy is outdated, and that he is not able to keep up with the changing times. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it with your friends and family. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Others argue that Warren's focus on large, well-established companies is a sign of complacency, and that he is not willing to take risks on new and innovative companies. There are even some who believe that Warren's charitable donations are nothing more than a clever way to reduce his taxes. Despite the criticism, however, Warren Buffett remains one of the most respected investors in the world. His track record speaks for itself, and his peers and admirers continue to grow. Warren started buying Apple stock in 2016, and since then he has amassed a stake worth tens of billions of dollars. Apple is currently one of the biggest holdings in Warren's portfolio, and it has been a major contributor to his overall returns. Another one of Warren Buffett's most famous investments is American Express. Warren has been a long-time investor in American Express, and he has praised the company's management team as well as its strong brand. In recent years, Warren has added to his American Express position, and it is now one of his largest holdings. Another one of Warren Buffett's most famous investments is Coca-Cola. Warren has owned Coca-Cola stock for decades, and he has been a big fan of the company's products for years. In fact, Warren drinks several cans of Coke Zero every day. Coca-Cola is another one of Warren's largest holdings, and it has generated significant returns for his portfolio. In fact, Warren has pledged to donate the majority of his wealth to philanthropic causes. Warren's generosity is truly inspiring, and it is a testament to his character. Despite his immense wealth, Warren remains humble and down to earth. He is known for his integrity and his commitment to making the world a better place. When Warren was young, his father would take him along on his stockbroker trips, and this is where Warren developed an interest in business. For example, he still lives in the same house that he bought in 1958 for $31,500. For example, Warren is a big fan of Coca-Cola, and he regularly consumes several cans of Coke Zero per day. Additionally, Warren is known for his love of sweets, and he often indulges in cookies and other snacks. Despite his seemingly unhealthy diet, Warren is in good physical condition, and he is often seen walking around without any difficulty. Warren's eccentric personality may seem out of place in the world of high finance, but it is actually quite refreshing. In an industry that is often dominated by serious and stoic individuals, Warren's personality is a breath of fresh air. He is known for his sense of humor and his ability to connect with people from all walks of life. This has made him a popular figure both in the business world and beyond. And he continues to drive the same car that he bought in 2014. Additionally, Warren is known for his frugal spending habits, and he is often seen carrying around a simple lunch bag instead of using an expensive briefcase. Warren's simple lifestyle may seem out of place given his immense wealth. However, it is actually quite fitting considering his investment strategy. Warren's investment strategy is based on finding companies that are undervalued by the market, just as he himself is often undervalued by society. In many ways, Warren is the epitome of the saying, "Don't judge a book by its cover." By the age of 10, he had read several books about investing, and by the age of 11, he had earned his first $1,000 by delivering newspapers. After graduating high school, Warren enrolled in the University of Nebraska at Lincoln, where he majored in business. However, after 2 years, he transferred to the Columbia Business School in New York City, where he studied under the renowned finance professor Benjamin Graham. Graham became a mentor to Warren, and Warren attributes much of his early success to Graham's teachings. After graduating from Columbia, Warren returned to Omaha and started his own investment partnership. Maybe you want to stop biting your nails, or maybe you want to stop being late for things. It can be really hard to change your habits even when you really want to. So what's going on here? Why is it so hard to break a habit? Well, there are a lot of theories out there, but one of the most popular ones is that habits are like chains. And the more you practice them, the tighter the chain gets. At first, you might not even notice the chain. You might not even realize that you're in one. But over time, the chain gets tighter and tighter until eventually it's too tight to break. So how do you avoid this happening? How do you make sure that your habits don't control you? Well, the answer, of course, is balance. You need to find a balance between being disciplined enough to stick to your goals and being flexible enough to allow yourself to slip up occasionally. If you can do that, then you'll be able to break the chains of habit before they become too tight. So let's look at the inspiring story behind the rich person who said this. Without wasting any time, let's get started. Warren Buffett was born on August 30th, 1930, in Omaha, Nebraska. In the early days, Warren's investment strategy was heavily influenced by his mentor, Benjamin Graham, who is considered to be one of the fathers of value investing. Now, although Warren Buffett is a highly successful investor, he is also known for living a very simple lifestyle. However, Warren Buffett is not only famous for his investment skills and frugal lifestyle, he is also known for his eccentric personality. Furthermore, Warren Buffett is not only an eccentric businessman, but he is also a philanthropist. However, we cannot talk about Warren Buffett without mentioning some of his investment highlights. Despite his incredible success as an investor, Warren Buffett is not without his critics. Well, that wraps up the biography of this legendary person. Top number 6, Larry Page. The story of how Larry Page became the 6th richest person in the world. Larry Page was born on March 26, 1973 to a single mother. His biological father left the family shortly after his birth, and his mother raised him alone. And even though Carl wasn't his biological father, he treated Larry like his own son and taught him everything about computers. In fact, it was Carl who gave Larry his first computer. It was an old Commodore VIC-20 that cost $500. But for young Larry, it was pure magic. He spent hours playing games on it and learning how to code. She always told him that he was special and unique, and that he could achieve anything he set his mind to. But Larry was never satisfied with just working for someone else. He always wanted to start his own business. He wanted to create a search engine that would be better than any other search engine out there. At the time, the most popular search engine was Yahoo. But Larry and Sergey believed they could do something better. But despite her best efforts, they lived in poverty and often moved from place to place. So Larry didn't really have a stable childhood. In fact, when Larry was 6 years old, his mother married a computer programmer named Carl. From there, Google took off and soon became the most popular search engine in the world. Their algorithm was called PageRank, and it worked by giving more weight to websites that were linked to by other reputable websites. This allowed them to create a search engine that was much more accurate and relevant than anything else on the market. They're always experimenting with new technologies and products, which helps push the boundaries of what's possible. For example, Google has developed self-driving cars, which could revolutionize the way we get around. They've also created glasses that can project images into your field of vision, which could be a game changer for people who are blind or visually impaired. But what's even more impressive than his wealth is the impact that he had on the world. Before Google, it was difficult for ordinary people to make their voices heard. But now anyone with an internet connection can publish their thoughts and ideas online. No. But overall, I believe that Google has done more good than harm. This has created a positive and supportive work environment where employees are able to do their best work. As such, Google is likely to remain a major player in the tech industry for many years to come. They've made the world a more connected and informed place, and I am grateful for everything they've even done. He's a major investor in solar and wind power, and is committed to reducing his carbon footprint. Additionally, Larry has donated millions of dollars to various charities and organizations that are working to solve some of the world's most pressing problems. It's also about having a lot of influence. With great wealth comes great responsibility, and it's up to individuals like Larry to use their platform and resources to make a positive impact on the world. He's a true visionary who has not only made a fortune for himself, but has also made the world a better place. This has led to a more open and transparent world where everyone has the opportunity to participate in the global conversation. In fact, Larry was so fascinated with computers that when he turned 12, he convinced his stepfather to let him build a computer from scratch. The company hasn't been afraid to experiment with new ideas and products, and many of these have gone on to become hugely successful in their own right. You never know what kind of success you might achieve. The company offers competitive salaries and benefits and provides employees with a lot of freedom and autonomy. This has created a highly motivated and productive workforce that's able to come up with innovative solutions to complex problems. For example, Google's foray into mobile operating systems with Android has made it one of the most popular platforms in the world. Similarly, the company's development of self-driving cars has made it a leader in the autonomous vehicle industry. But those sources are often limited and outdated. Google, on the other hand, is constantly evolving. The company has grown exponentially since its humble beginnings as a search engine, and today, it's a major player in multiple industries. And improving, which means that we have access to the most up-to-date information available. So together, they spent months looking for cheap parts in local newspapers and magazines. And finally, they managed to put together a decent machine. This experience sparked Larry's passion for technology, and he soon started spending all his free time learning more about how computers work. He also got really interested in the internet, and in 1988, he created his first website. If you're like me, you probably use Google every day without even realizing it. When you need to find out information, you just type in a few keywords and Google spits out the answers on a silver platter. It's amazing how easy they made it to find almost anything you want to know. It was just a simple page with some basic HTML, but for Larry it was an important milestone because it showed him that the internet was something that anyone could participate in. When Larry turned 16, he and his mother moved to Lansing, Michigan, where his stepfather took a job at Michigan State University, but they kept in touch and often discussed new technologies and business ideas. Larry attended Pioneer High School, and it was there that he met one of his future co-founders, Sergey Brin. They quickly became friends and bonded over their shared interest in computers and the internet. After graduating high school in 1991, both Larry and Sergey went to different universities to study computer science. In 1995, Larry graduated from the University of Michigan with a Bachelor's degree in computer engineering, and he soon got a job at a tech company in Silicon Valley. And in 1996, he and Sergey had the idea that would change the world forever. So they spent the next 2 years developing a new algorithm that would allow users to search the internet much more effectively. They called their search engine Google, and on September 4th, 1998, they registered the domain name google.com. But Larry and Sergey didn't stop there. They used the money they made from Google to invest in other companies and projects, which made them incredibly wealthy. Today, Larry is the 6th richest person in the world with a net worth of $128 billion. Google has changed the way we all use the internet and has made information more accessible to people all over the globe. Before Google, we had to rely on things like libraries and encyclopedias to find information. Another thing I love about Google is their commitment to innovation. But perhaps most importantly, Google has given voice to billions of people around the world. Of course, Google isn't perfect. There have been times when they've made mistakes. Now, while many people may criticize Google for various reasons, it's hard to argue with their success. One of the reasons for this success is Google's ability to adapt and innovate. Another key to Google's success has been its ability to attract and retain top talent. Finally, it's worth noting that Google has a strong corporate culture that emphasizes collaboration, creativity, and excellence. All of these factors have contributed to Google's phenomenal success and have made it one of the most valuable companies in the world. It's important to note that being the richest man in the world isn't just about having a lot of money. One way that Larry has done this is by investing in renewable energy. Overall, Larry's story is an inspiring example of how anyone can achieve success through hard work, determination, and a willingness to take risks. If you're feeling inspired by Larry's story and want to achieve your own dreams, don't wait another second. Take action today and start working towards your goals. What do you think? How do you feel about Larry's story? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more inspiring stories about the richest people in the world. You may also enjoy another video we have about how Elon Musk became the richest man in the world. Top number 5, Bernard Arnault and family. Did you know that the top number 5 richest person in the world, Bernard Arnault and family, has a net worth of $260 billion? That's right, an astonishing $260 billion. And it gets even more impressive when you learn that he is 73 years old. Bernard James Arnault was born in 1948 in Algeria, former French colony located in North Africa. Growing up in this region during the 1950s and 60s must have been quite a unique experience. Although not much is known about his early life, we do know that his father owned a factory that produced industrial equipment and tools for construction sites. The story of how Siemens revolutionized the construction industry is truly fascinating. While many competitors focused on quantity and cost-cutting measures, Siemens has stood firm on its commitment to delivering top-notch products that met the highest standards. Siemens didn't just become a successful company. It became a symbol of quality and reliability in the construction industry. Bernard Arnault's story is a testament to the power of focusing on what you love and taking risks. Instead, he channeled his grief into determination and redoubled his efforts to make Siemens successful. Arnault's story is an inspiration to anyone who has ever faced adversity. The group employs over 150,000 people worldwide and generates billions of dollars in revenue annually, understands the importance of giving back, and has established various foundations to support charitable causes close to his heart. One such initiative is the Foundation Leonard da Vinci, a non-profit organization that provides scholarships to talented students who are passionate about art, science, culture, and sports. Arnault believes that investing in the next generation is crucial for the progress of society, and his foundation is making that a reality. Arnault's hard work, dedication, and passion for his work have paid off in spades. He is an avid collector of contemporary art and has a particular fondness for works by modern masters like Andy Warhol and Jeff Koons. He is deeply committed to supporting various social causes and has made substantial donations to organizations that align with his values. One such organization is the Foundation Leonard da Vinci, which was established to promote education, scientific research, and cultural development. Through this foundation, Bernard aims to support talented individuals who demonstrate excellence in their respective fields. Bernard's private art collection is said to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars and includes some of the most iconic pieces of the 20th century. He recognizes the importance of preserving natural resources for future generations and has made significant contributions to organizations that focus on protecting the environment. He is known for his strong work ethic and dedication to excellence, which have contributed to his success in the business world. He is an avid collector of luxury cars, particularly those manufactured by Mercedes-Benz. He enjoys experimenting with different flavors and cuisines, always seeking new culinary experiences. Owning these high-performance vehicles allows him to indulge in his passion for speed and technology. One of his notable projects is the renovation of the banks of the Seine River in Paris, which aims to create green spaces and promote sustainable development. Through this initiative, Arnault is committed to making a positive impact on the environment and protecting it for future generations. He continues to expand his business empire and make a positive impact on the world around him. He embraces technology and utilizes it efficiently to stay connected and manage his vast business empire. Now let's take a look at some of his notable works and achievements. And prefers to keep certain aspects of his personal life away from the public eye. He has made substantial donations to hospitals, schools, and cultural centers in his hometown of Levallois-Perret, ensuring that the community continues to thrive. You found this video insightful? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to our channel and share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Bernard's story. Till next time, stay curious and keep chasing your dreams. He is a visionary philanthropist whose support for art, education, the environment in his hometown has made a significant impact on countless lives. While Bernard Arnault keeps his private life out of the public eye, there are some interesting facts that shed light on his personality and interests. Arnault's story is not just about wealth and success. It's about making a difference in the world and leaving a lasting legacy. He is now one of the richest men in the world. It shows that no matter how dark the times are, hope and success can still prevail. He is a significant contributor to the Musée National d'Art, Château de Fontainebleau, a renowned museum in France that houses an impressive collection of art from different eras. Bernard's generosity has allowed the museum to acquire new pieces and enhance its existing collection. making it more accessible to the public. He knew that the company was more than just a business. It was a legacy that he wanted to build for himself and his family. Through sheer willpower and an unwavering focus on his goals, Arno managed to turn things around. This unwavering focus on quality paid off big time. Siemens quickly gained a reputation for delivering exceptional results, setting it apart from the competition. There were times when he faced challenges and setbacks. For example, in 1978, when he was just 29 years old, Arno lost his father and almost lost his company. His father was not only a mentor and guide, but also the driving force behind his entry into the construction business. Losing him so early in his career was a devastating blow. Many would have crumbled under such circumstances, but not Arno. As word of mouth spread, clients flocked to the company seeking the unparalleled services that Siemens had to offer. You see, Arnold had a vision. He wanted to create a company that could provide comprehensive solutions for large-scale construction projects. His idea was simple, yet groundbreaking. Siemens would manufacture building components in factories and deliver them to construction sites ready for assembly. This approach eliminated the need for manual labor-intensive construction methods, saving time and resources. This exposure to the business world at an early age may have sparked young Bernard's interest in entrepreneurship. It started his journey to becoming a billionaire very late in life. After completing his education, he started working in the automobile industry. It was just the beginning of his remarkable career. In 1968, a year marked by significant global events like the student protests and the moon landing, Arno joined a company called CMAP. Initially, he served as an engineer, but soon got promoted to head of the company's plastics division. By the time he reached the age of 30, he had already established himself as a talented and ambitious young professional. You must be curious to know how someone can achieve such remarkable wealth at an older age. So without further ado, let us delve into the inspiring story of how Bernard Arnault became one of the wealthiest people in the world. You might have heard his name, or maybe you haven't, but trust me, this story will leave you in awe. However, it was in France where Bernard truly began his journey towards becoming a successful businessman. Bernard wasn't satisfied with his current position at CIMAP. He wanted more. He wanted to build something of his own. And in 1970, at the age of 22, he took a leap of faith and left CIMAP to start his own business. With his entrepreneurial spirit, Bernard founded a company called SNS. The journey from a small startup to a billion-dollar empire was just beginning. The turning point came in 1976 when he founded the multinational company that would change his life forever, Siemens. What sets Siemens apart from other companies in the same field is its emphasis on quality and innovation. Bernard's decision to pursue excellence rather than cut corners proved to be a masterstroke. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Despite facing financial losses and a lack of market confidence, Arnault refused to give up on his dream. He navigated the turbulent waters of the market crash, proving that he was not just a lucky entrepreneur, but a skilled businessman capable of weathering any storm. Fast forward to today, and Siemens is a thriving business with numerous subsidiaries under its belt. But despite his staggering wealth, Arnault remains grounded and humble. Another noteworthy endeavor is Arnault Controls, a global leader in the field of environmental protection. At the age of 73, Bernard Arnault Controls is showing no signs of slowing down. Firstly, Bernard Arnault's commitment to philanthropy is evident through his support for various cultural institutions. Moreover, Bernard Arnault's passion for art extends beyond just funding museums. However, Bernard Arnault's philanthropic efforts are not limited to the art world. In addition to his philanthropic endeavors, Bernard Arnault is also actively involved in environmental conservation. Furthermore, Bernard Arnault's commitment to his hometown is evident through his support for local initiatives. Overall, Bernard Arnault's contributions go beyond his business empire. Now let's move on to another aspect of Bernard Arnault's life, his personal details. Firstly, Bernard Arnault was educated at a Jesuit school in his hometown, which reflects his strong belief in the values of hard work and discipline. Moreover, Bernard Arnault's hobbies and interests provide a glimpse into his multifaceted personality. Additionally, Bernard Arnault has a deep appreciation for fine dining and has been known to frequent Michelin star restaurants. It's also worth mentioning that Bernard Arnault is highly proficient in using email as a means of communication, often sending up to 100 emails per day. While these personal details offer a glimpse into Bernard Arnault's life outside of business, it's important to note that he values his privacy. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the life of Bernard Arnault, the brilliant mind behind the success of the fifth richest person in the world. Top number for Jeff Bezos, the guy who is for on the list of the richest people in the world today. Jeff Bezos has worked his way up from nothing to become one of the most powerful people in the world. In today's video, we are going to tell you the story of the fourth richest person in the world, Jeff Bezos. Stay tuned till the end to find out how Jeff became so rich. You will be inspired by his journey, so let's begin. As a result, Jeff couldn't drop his son off at the daycare and had to go back home and ask his wife to take a day off work so that she could look after their baby. He had already listed 33 different business ideas he had on a notepad, but it was this event that gave him the final push he needed. So he quit his job and started working on the business idea he had written on the top of his list. That was an online bookshop. This made Jeff realize that there was a lack of reliable online services to solve everyday problems, and that is why he decided to start his own company. But when he tested the website himself, he realized that it was taking too long to load, especially compared to other e-commerce websites at the time. 1995. The website was named cadabra.com, but soon after launching it, he realized that this domain name was very hard to remember. He continued working on expanding the product line and making improvements to the website. In 1998, Amazon's net loss was $157 million. But despite that, Jeff never considered quitting Amazon or selling it to someone else. He kept working on the company to turn it around, and finally, in 2002, Amazon became profitable. His hard work started paying off in the following months as Amazon's sales started increasing rapidly. So he changed it to Amazon.com. Instead, he continued to come up with new ideas and expand Amazon in new areas. One of those areas was retail. But over the years, Jeff kept adding new benefits to it, such as free shipping, streaming services, and exclusive deals. Today, over 150 million people subscribe to Amazon Prime. This makes Amazon Prime one of the most popular membership services in the US. In fact, around 57% of Americans are subscribed to Amazon Prime. In 2005, Amazon started offering a subscription service called Amazon Prime. He is a true inspiration for everyone who wants to become successful in business. If you want to learn more about the richest and most successful people in the world, stay tuned for more videos. We'll see you in the next one. Jeff's story shows us that with hard work and dedication, anyone can achieve anything. He didn't let the challenges he faced stop him from achieving his goals. Instead, he used them as motivation to keep moving forward. Every page took about 20 seconds to load. This was frustrating for him, but instead of giving up, he started working on improving the website even more. Today, companies like Airbnb, Netflix, Pinterest, Snapchat, Twitter, and many others use AWS for their cloud solutions. Jeff has also been investing billions of dollars in other companies. He has made investments in companies like Apple, Google, Microsoft, and JP Chase. He has said that he has no plans of retiring anytime soon. He has also said that he wants to focus more on his space company, Blue Origin, which he founded in 2000. This company aims to make space travel affordable for everyone. Jeff has invested over $1 billion in this company so far. These investments have paid off, as they have made him billions of dollars. Moreover, it is also used by startups and large enterprises. Jeff's net worth is currently over $100 billion. Most of his wealth comes from his stake in Amazon, which is currently worth over $94 billion. His other investments are also worth billions of dollars. This makes AWS one of the most important businesses under Amazon. In 2018, AWS alone generated $22 billion in profit. He strongly believed that he was building a great company, and this belief was what kept him going during tough times. He said, "If your ship isn't moving, row. If your ship isn't moving in the right direction, steer." And this is what he did. He kept working hard to improve the company, and eventually the results showed up. Today, it has evolved into one of the most valuable companies in the world. Most of them refused, but one of them agreed. Jeff secured $1.3 million in funding from family and friends, hired some employees, and started building the website. He wanted to expand Amazon in many areas, such as cloud computing. In the early 2000s, Jeff started noticing that web services were becoming a necessity for most businesses. He believed that one day most companies would move their data and applications online. So he invested heavily in building the necessary infrastructure to make this possible. But little did he know how big of a challenge this was going to be. Its website receives 278 million monthly visits and generates $2.5 billion in revenue every month. However, Jeff didn't know any of this when he first came up with the idea. He simply thought that an online bookshop might be a good business opportunity. And he did that in a very interesting way. Jeff was only paid $370,000 in his entire career as a corporate employee. His biological father was a Cuban immigrant while his mother was an American. When Jeff turned to his parents got divorced and he started living with his mother and her new husband. His stepfather worked as an engineer at a computer company, and it was him who raised Jeff. They moved to Houston, Texas when Jeff was 12 years old. He attended high school there and then went to Princeton University after finishing high school. At Princeton, he majored in electrical engineering and computer science and graduated summa cum laude, which means he graduated with the highest distinction.
Wow.
But now he owns over $100 billion worth of assets. So how exactly did this man make billions of dollars? In 1990, he joined the investment bank in New York and worked there for 3 years. During these 5 years, Jeff made a total of around $370,000. And this is the amount he would have made if he had not quit his job and started his own company. But that doesn't mean Jeff was unhappy with his job or something like that. He actually enjoyed his work at the investment bank and liked the people he worked with. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our channel where we share with you the inspiring stories of the richest and most successful people in the world. Jeff Bezos was born in 1964 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to a teenage mother. After graduating from university, Jeff got a job at a financial firm called Bankers Trust, where he spent 2 years working in the international derivatives marketing department. However, when he came back home one day after working late hours at the office, he found out that his 4-year-old nanny had quit without giving any notice period. It wasn't just this incident, though, because Jeff was thinking about starting his own company for a while already. When Jeff came up with this idea, Amazon was just a small online bookshop. He started calling all major publishing houses in the US to ask if they could sell their books through his website. When Jeff built the website, he wanted it to be easy to use, so he kept its design very simple. Finally, after a year of working on it, the website was ready, and Jeff launched it on July 5th, in the first month of its launch. Amazon generated $70,000 in sales, but Jeff knew that this was just the beginning. However, the company wasn't profitable. In fact, they were losing millions every year. The reason why Jeff never lost hope was because he had faith in his vision. And this wasn't the only vision Jeff had. He had many more. This is how Amazon Web Services came into existence. It took a few years, but eventually AWS became one of the most important cloud service providers in the world. All of this proves that Jeff's vision was correct. But even after all this success, Jeff didn't stop working. At first, the response to this service wasn't that great. But that's not all. Today, Jeff Bezos is the 4th richest person in the world, according to Forbes' real-time billionaires list. Despite being so successful, Jeff is still working hard as the CEO of Amazon. There's no doubt that Jeff Bezos is one of the most successful entrepreneurs of our time. Thank you for watching this video. We hope that you were inspired by the story of Jeff Bezos. Top number 3, Mark Zuckerberg. The top number 3 richest person in the world, Mark Zuckerberg. This man, who is currently 39 years old, was born on May 14, 1984. He is an American media proprietor and the co-founder and CEO of the social networking site Facebook, which has around 2.7 billion monthly active users. After that, he spent most of his time learning how to code and became really good at it. He even won several national science fairs by creating some innovative projects using his computer programming skills. He is also the founder and CEO of the parent company of Facebook, Meta. He grew up in a middle-class family. His father was a dentist and his mother worked as a psychiatrist. They had 3 children, and he was the eldest. He was sued by the university because it violated the privacy of its students and misused their photographs. But this didn't disappoint him. And Chris Hughes, he came up with the idea of creating a social networking site exclusively for college students. They could post anything they wanted and express themselves freely. It made Facebook more appealing. They named it Facebook. Initially, it was only open to Harvard students, but later they expanded it to other colleges in the United States. It aimed to provide internet access to remote areas via balloons floating in the sky. Zuck immediately partnered with them and invested millions of dollars into this project. Instead, it gave him an idea to create something much bigger. He partnered with telecom providers and invested billions of dollars into laying submarine cables across the ocean. As the company grew, it started to generate massive revenue. 5 years later, he bought another popular app called WhatsApp for $22 billion. In 2012, Facebook went public and raised $16 billion. Now, there's no doubt that Facebook has brought many positive things to the world. It's connected billions of people and helped them stay in touch with each other. This helped him expand his network to Asia, Europe, and Africa. So like any other kid, when he was young, he used to go out and play with his friends after school. Today, Instagram has more than 1 billion monthly active users, and WhatsApp has more than 2 billion. Some people believe that Facebook has too much power and that it is being used to control the world. These are valid concerns. He is a self-made billionaire who has used his success to make a positive impact on the world. Looking at his journey, here are some of the lessons we can learn from him. First of all, he didn't come from a wealthy family and didn't have any special privileges. Thirdly, he was persistent. He didn't give up when he faced obstacles. He identified a need for a social networking site that was targeted towards college students, kept trying different approaches until he found one that worked. If you want to be successful, focus on solving problems and providing value to others. By following these lessons, you can increase your chances of being successful. Yet he didn't let that stop him from achieving his dreams. Despite all the criticism he has received, he has remained focused on his mission to connect the world. He needed to find a cheaper way to do it. So what are your thoughts on this man? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching and watching till the end. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. That's why he launched another project called Internet Drone. It aimed to deliver internet access to remote areas via drones. Secondly, he took risks. When he decided to drop out of college and focus on his social networking site, it was a big risk. But it paid off and made him a multi-billionaire. He is also a philanthropist. He and his wife Priscilla Chan have pledged to donate 99% of their wealth to charity. For example, they have donated millions of dollars to help fight the COVID-19 pandemic. They have also donated money to help build schools in developing countries. And it has made it easier for people to share their thoughts and ideas with the world. But it also has its fair share of negative aspects. It has changed the way we communicate, and it has given us the ability to connect with people from all over the world. But it is important to be aware of the potential dangers of Facebook and to use it responsibly. But again, it wasn't successful. Only 5% of the world's population used the internet. If he wanted his business to grow, he needed to make internet access available to billions of people. But he didn't have any particular goals or dreams back then. However, everything changed when he turned 14. One day his parents bought him a computer, and when he started using it, he became interested in coding. It offered him a job with an annual salary of $50,000 and benefits worth $10,000. But he rejected their offer because he didn't want to work for anyone else but himself. He just wanted to do his own thing. It could provide internet access at high speed and low cost. He immediately invested into this technology, and that was a game changer. It enabled Facebook to expand rapidly. But still, when he finished high school, he wasn't sure what he wanted to do with his life. Many of his classmates and relatives suggested that he should become a doctor because his mother was one, and she had a great influence on him. So he enrolled in a prestigious university. At first, he intended to major in biology, but later switched to classics. However, he never graduated from there. When he was just a sophomore, he dropped out of college because he got an offer from a major tech company. In 2004, while he was studying at Harvard University, he created a social networking site, initially called FaceMash. It was a huge success among the students because it allowed them to rate each other's attractiveness. Within just a few days, more than 40,000 users signed up for it. But soon after that, it was shut down due to some legal issues. So, together with his college roommates, Eduardo Saverin, Andrew McCollum, Dustin Moskovitz, the website became very popular among the students because it provided them a platform where they could connect with each other. But the problem was that not everyone had internet access back then. But how could he achieve that? Just at that time, a major tech company announced a new project called Project Terra. However, it wasn't successful. The balloons kept on bursting, and some of them even fell on people's houses. Then he tried another method, but these methods were too expensive. He had almost given up when one of his engineers told him about a new technology called LTE. Soon it became the most popular social networking site in the world. This made Zuck the world's youngest billionaire at the age of just 28. He used some of this money to acquire Instagram for $1 billion. Those of these acquisitions proved to be very successful. As a result, Facebook's revenue has grown to $110 billion. It has given small businesses an opportunity to grow by allowing them to advertise on Facebook. Facebook has been accused of being addictive, and it has been blamed for causing social isolation. There is no doubt that Facebook has had a major impact on our lives. Now, going back to the video, Mark Zuckerberg isn't just a successful businessman. They created the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative to support projects that aim to improve the lives of people around the world. Overall, Mark Zuckerberg is an inspiration to many people around the world, and it seems like he won't stop anytime soon. If you have big goals, don't let anyone tell you that you can't achieve them. If you want to be successful, you have to be willing to take risks. If you want to be successful, you have to be persistent and never give up. Finally, he focused on solving problems. He created Facebook to solve this problem, and it became a huge success. Zuckerberg's story is an inspiration to all of us, that if you have big dreams and work hard to achieve them, you can be successful. Also, do we forget to check out the inspiring stories of other rich people by clicking on these videos on the screen? Top number 2, Larry Ellison. Most people know him as the co-founder and former CEO of Oracle Corporation and one of the richest people in the world. However, most people don't know about the life story of Larry Ellison. So here is how this amazing person became successful. Before starting his career as an entrepreneur, Ellison led a pretty hard life. When he was just 9 months old, his biological mother gave him up for adoption. These two men were very impressed with Larry's knowledge about computers and asked him to join them in starting a software company. Ellison learned that Xerox was developing a new operating system called Xerox Alto, which used a technology called object-oriented programming. In order to do this, they hired a group of engineers from Ampex and began the process. During this time, they changed the name of Software Development Laboratories to Relational Software, Inc. The name change came with a new logo that showed a pair of eyes staring above a closed door. In 1983, he established the Ellison Medical Foundation, which focused on finding a cure for kidney diseases. Just a few years later, he created the American Brain Foundation, which aimed to advance neurological research. Ellison was also a major contributor to the University of Illinois, his alma mater, and donated a massive amount of money to establish the Institute for Genomic Biology there. That is the story of how Larry Ellison became the top number 2 richest person in the world. Did you enjoy this video? Let us know your thoughts. Also, don't forget to check out our other videos as well. Thank you for watching. He also played a big part in helping the victims of Hurricane Katrina and the Asian tsunami. All of these endeavors made him one of the most respected philanthropists in the world. This symbolized their goal of helping businesses look through the walls of data that separated them from their customers. In the late 1990s, several lawsuits were filed against Oracle for deceptive trade practices. The company was accused of misleading customers about the capabilities of its products. After years of trials, Oracle was ordered to pay millions of dollars to settle the lawsuits. Despite this setback, the company bounced back and released one of its most successful products ever, Oracle CRM On Demand in 2005. This was a software-as-a-service product that allowed businesses to manage customer interactions over the internet. The product was a huge success and helped the company reach new heights. Around this time, Larry began noticing that something wasn't quite right with Bob Miner. Even though he wasn't the CEO anymore, he remained active in the company and served as its chief technology officer. He also continued to dedicate a huge chunk of his time to philanthropy. Over the years, he has donated more than $1 billion to various causes, and is one of the most generous donors of all time. He had begun acting strangely and often seemed confused or unable to focus on work. After talking to his wife, it became clear that Bob was suffering from a rare brain disease that would eventually lead to his death. Sure enough, Bob passed away just a few months later. With a heavy heart, Larry and Oates paid tribute to their friend by naming their new product Oracle. This was revolutionary at the time, as previous operating systems used procedural languages, while traditional languages programmed computers by giving step-by-step instructions. Object-oriented programming enabled programmers to develop programmers by defining the objects within them. For example, in object-oriented programming, a programmer can define the characteristics of a dog, such as its color, breed, size, etc. Then the programmer can use these characteristics to create multiple dogs. On the other hand, in procedural languages, a programmer would have to write a detailed description of every single dog. Object-oriented programming was easier and faster, and therefore garnered the attention of many developers. However, Xerox didn't want to enter the database market, so they weren't interested in creating a database management system. Larry, on the other hand, saw a huge opportunity here and therefore asked Bob Taylor if he and his friends could license the rights to Xerox Alto. Of course, Xerox rejected their offer, so Larry did something crazy. He offered to buy the rights for $1 million. Even though this was a lot of money for three young entrepreneurs, they agreed to sell the rights to them. They pooled together all their savings and started a company called Software Development Laboratories in 1977. Their goal was to produce database management systems for other companies. But they soon ran into trouble as they failed to build a strong management team. In order to fix this, Bob suggested that Larry should become the president of the company. Although he was reluctant at first, he eventually accepted the position. As the new president, he had to take many trips around the country to promote the company's products, but unfortunately, not many companies were interested. This made Larry realize that they needed to come up with a unique product if they wanted to be successful. And when he was around 48 hours old, another couple adopted him. He grew up with two loving parents and never knew that the lady who gave birth to him wanted nothing to do with him. However, his adoptive mother passed away when Larry was just 9 years old. His father remarried and married a woman with a daughter from her previous marriage. This stepsister of Larry was like a real sister to him and always tried to make him feel left out. She would even wake up Larry in the middle of the night, just so he could sleep on the couch instead of his own bed. Needless to say, Ellison had enough of all the mistreatment and left home at 16. After which he started living with his biological aunt. Unfortunately, she wasn't much of a nice person either. Even though Larry was trying his best to earn money by doing odd jobs, she would take all the money he earned from his job and spend it on her own needs. Larry couldn't do anything about it, because she was his legal guardian, and he was unearning enough to be able to move out. But he was determined to succeed no matter what, and therefore studied hard during his free time so that he could get into a good college. Hello and welcome to our channel, where we bring you stories of business magnates who have made it big. After graduating from the University of Illinois with a bachelor's degree in 1966, he started working at an electronics company called Ampex Corporation, which specialized in audio recording devices. Ellison wanted to be an engineer at first, but ended up becoming a computer programmer there. After working at Ampex for a few years, he decided that he needed a change, so he moved to an Ohio-based manufacturing company called Precision Instruments. Here, Larry worked as vice president for a while before moving back to California, where he got a job at Wells Fargo Bank. But things didn't go too well there, as he was fired after just a year and a half. It may come off as surprising to many people, but this was actually the biggest turning point in his career. The reason why he got fired was that Wells Fargo wanted to automate some of their operations and replace some of their employees with machines. Larry was one of those employees, and since he had some free time, he started visiting a friend of his who owned a small software development company. Since Larry had experience programming computers, he started helping out his friend with some of his projects. And when Larry realized that the future was in software development. Around the same time, he met two people named Bob Miner and Ed Oates. In 1979, he met a man named Bob Taylor, who was the head of the information management department at Xerox PARC. The next step for Larry and his friends was to turn the code into a commercial product. It took the team more than a year to convert the code into a commercial product. During the following years, Oracle continued to grow and gain popularity. By the late 1980s, it had become the second largest database management system in the world. By 1990, the company had more than 1,000 employees. And by 1993, they expanded internationally. This was a period of rapid growth for Oracle, as they kept releasing new technologies and acquiring smaller firms. For example, in 1996, they introduced Oracle 8i, which was one of the first database systems to integrate the internet. Around this time, they also acquired a Sun Microsystems company called NetSuite, which helped them dive deeper into the e-commerce market. As Oracle continued to grow, Larry began spending more and more time on philanthropic activities. However, not everything was going well behind the scenes. Larry continued to serve as the face of Oracle until 2009, when he stepped down as CEO and appointed a new president, Mark Hurd. As of today, Oracle is one of the most valuable companies in the world, with a market capitalization of more than $200 billion. So there you have it. Top number 1, Elon Musk. This man is the richest person in the world. He has a personal wealth of $248 billion, which is way more than the GDP of most countries. At just 39 years old, he's beaten out Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Bernard Arnault, Larry Ellison, Warren Buffett, Steve Ballmer, and all the other world's billionaires to take the crown for himself. So in order to fund their startup, Elon and Kimball would take out loans from friends and family members, and they were able to raise around $20,000 in total. And while browsing the internet, he stumbled across an online payment platform and thought to himself that the website was pretty clunky and difficult to use. So Elon figured that he could do a much better job, and thus XCOM was launched. XCOM was an online payment platform, and it would merge with another online payment platform called Confinity in early 2000 to form a large online payment platform. You see, Talia Riley was a famous actress who starred in movies like After the Dark and The Billum. But by this point, Elon was already good friends with one of Hollywood's richest men, and that man was none other than, she was also the daughter of a billionaire named Chris Riley, who owned one of Australia's largest media companies. But considering that Elon was starting out with just a few $1 million, this was truly staggering. So clearly, Elon needed to step up his game. But what really helped Elon get over the hump was a key hire that he made for Tesla. You see, when Elon was busy working day and night to make his space and car companies work, Jerry was making moves of his own. While Elon was indeed the visionary behind Tesla, he wouldn't be able to achieve any of his goals without his employees. And the best way to show appreciation for his employees was to pay them in stock rather than cash. So in 2012, Elon would start handing out stock options to Tesla employees, and this would skyrocket Tesla's employee morale. Tesla employees were now rooting for the success of the company more than ever before, and that was exactly what Elon wanted. With the newfound support of his employees, Tesla would launch the Model S in 2012, and this would prove to be a huge success. The Model S was not only Tesla's best-selling car to date, but it was also one of the highest-rated cars on the market. This gave Tesla a major boost of credibility, and it opened the door for them to become one of the most popular car companies in the world. But this would just be the beginning of Tesla's success. On paper, Deepak looked perfect for the role. He had worked as a CFO for Ford in the late 1990s, and he had tons of experience working with blue-chip companies. And Elon owns about 23% of the company, which translates to $219 billion. When you combine this with his stakes in SpaceX, Neuralink, The Boring Company, etc., Elon's net worth adds up to a whopping $248 billion, and that makes him the richest person in the world. The former executive's name was J.B. Straubel, and he was the perfect guy for the job. Also, drop a like if you're grateful for Elon for pushing the boundaries of technology, and of course, consider checking out our international channels to watch our videos in other languages, and consider subscribing to see more questions logically answered. But until then, I'll see you guys on the next one. JB had extensive experience in the car industry, and he knew exactly what needed to be done to turn Tesla around. So JB would join Tesla as the new CFO, and he would quickly get to work fixing Tesla's balance sheet. Within just a few months of JB taking over as CFO, he would help Tesla avoid bankruptcy and set them up for success, and all of this would not go unnoticed. In fact, JB would win the EY Entrepreneur of the Year award for his contributions to Tesla, but JB would remain humble and credit Elon for the success. So Elon thought that he was finally turning a corner with Tesla, but little did Elon know that Deepak was hiding something big. A few weeks after hiring Deepak, Elon started to notice that the accounting reports that Deepak was providing to him were riddled with errors. And given that Tesla was going through bankruptcy proceedings at the time, these mistakes could have dire consequences. So Elon confronted Deepak and demanded answers. And that's when Deepak dropped a bombshell on Elon. It turns out that Deepak had lied on his resume and didn't actually have the experience that he claimed to have. Obviously, Elon was furious, and he immediately fired Deepak. But this put Tesla in an even tougher spot. Tesla was already struggling to stay afloat, and they couldn't afford to lose money due to bad accounting practices. Something had to be done. While Elon was getting $100 million investments from investors like Google, Jerry was pulling in billions of dollars from his various businesses. Jerry's most notable business at this time was Amazon, and its stock price was soaring due to the rise of e-commerce. In fact, between 2000 and 2010, Amazon's stock price went from $10 per share to over $100 per share. That's a 10x. But this doesn't even come close to touching Jerry's most valuable company, which was Microsoft. Unlike Amazon, Microsoft's stock price didn't get crushed during the dot-com crash. In fact, the stock price barely even flinched during the entire event. And that gave Jerry an opportunity to buy back shares of the company for dirt cheap. He would end up buying back so many shares that he would end up controlling the majority of the company. Given that Microsoft was a blue-chip tech stock, it would just continue to grow in value over time. And that would push Jerry's net worth past the $100 billion mark. And if you ask me, I think that she was definitely trying to steer Elon towards the spotlight. For example, just 2 years after getting married to Tallulah, Elon would found SpaceX with the goal of colonizing Mars. Sure, this was something that Elon was already interested in doing, but I doubt that he would have been so public about it if it weren't for Tallulah. In fact, it was Tallulah who suggested that Elon use social media to promote SpaceX. Elon would take her advice and create a Twitter account in 2009, just 1 year after that. He would post his now famous tweet about SpaceX's plans to establish a colony on Mars, and the rest was history. Now, while this was by no means the world's first online payment platform, it was certainly one of the most user-friendly and intuitive ones out there, and that allowed it to grow incredibly fast. As a result, not even a year after merging with Confinity, the online payment platform would go public with an IPO price of $13 per share. This valued the company at $1.6 billion. But this wouldn't be the biggest payday for Elon, not by a long shot. Luckily, Elon didn't have to wait too long to see a return on investment. It wouldn't take long for the stock price to reach $150 per share, which valued the company at $15 billion. Elon met this guy named Mark Davis, and the two immediately hit it off. They shared similar interests and passions, and they also had a lot of fun together. So Elon invited Mark to join him on a trip to the Bahamas. And little did Elon know that this trip would change his life forever. You see, while Elon and Mark were enjoying themselves in the Bahamas, Elon decided that he wanted to pop the question. So he invited Mark to go on a romantic dinner cruise in that S where he proposed to him. Thankfully, Mark said yes. And the two would get married just 2 years later. Elon controlled about 11.7% of the company, which meant that he personally had a net worth of $1.7 billion. This made him one of the wealthiest people in the world at just 29 years old. But little did Elon know that things were about to get way better for him. Because within just a few months of launching Zip2, he sold the company to an online payment platform for $17 million. Now, given that Elon had just turned 25 years old when he sold Zip2, it's safe to say that he was a millionaire at this point. But that would change just 3 years later, when he founded one of the most popular websites of all time. But what many people don't know is that this wasn't an easy feat by any means. And there's actually one crucial thing that Elon did in his early 20s that directly led to him becoming the world's first ever $200 billion net worth individual. This is the inspiring story of how Elon Musk became the richest person in the world. Taking a look back, Elon was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa. His father was a wealthy engineer, and his mother was a dietitian. So growing up, Elon had everything he could ever want or need. But despite the fact that Elon grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth, he would far from have an easy life. In fact, when Elon was just 9 years old, his parents would get a divorce. And as a result, Elon would move in with his father. But after some time, Elon would realize that his dad wasn't the best role model. In fact, he was quite abusive. So at the age of 17, Elon would move out and get his own place. And it wasn't long after that Elon would go to Canada and start his very first business. Elon started his first business called Zip2 with his brother Kimball. As the name suggests, it was a web software company. After selling Zip2, Elon wanted to focus on the internet and the possibilities that it offered. As the dot-com bubble heated up, so did the stock price of the online payment platform. Around this same time, Elon met someone who would completely change his life forever. But before we move on, let's take a moment to appreciate the man behind the camera. But anyways, Elon and Talyula's marriage would unlast too long. They would get divorced in 2008. If you were wondering who was the richest person in the world, when Elon was building SpaceX and Tesla, it was none other than... Now obviously this wasn't anything compared to what Jerry's net worth is today. In early 2010, Elon was looking for a chief financial officer for Tesla, and he ended up hiring a man named Deepak Ahuja. So Elon reached out to one of his good friends, who happened to be a former executive at another car company. And that's when Elon realized that he needed to do the same. Over the next decade, Tesla would launch multiple successful vehicles and become one of the most valuable companies in the world. Today, Tesla is worth over $1 trillion. Do you guys think that Elon Musk deserves to be the world's richest person? Comment that down below.